If you're trying to decide between spending $240,000 on the brilliant 992.1 GT3 or an additional $100,000 to $150,000 more on the 992.2 GT3, I made this video to help you make the right decision. Chances are you've noticed the glaring fact that it's been roughly 4 months since Porsche revealed the new GT3, and they haven't said anything about the car's Nürburgring lap time. And this is made all the more concerning by the fact that when Porsche debuted the previous GT3, all they did was talk about that car's Nürburgring lap time. In Porsche's official press release for the 992.1 GT3, they boasted about the Nürburgring lap time, saying, during final testing, it lapped the Nuerburgring-Nordschleife, traditionally the ultimate proving ground for all sports cars developed by Porsche, over 17 seconds quicker than its predecessor. Their press release even included 2 videos about the GT3's Nürburgring lap time. And you know what Porsche is saying about the new GT3's lap time? But they have made something of a Nürburgring announcement, which we're going to get into. 2017 Dodge Viper. But first, let's get into the numbers. Over the last few months, values of 0.1 GT3s have dropped significantly, and this wonderful car that people were once paying $350,000 for can now be had for less than $200,000, although the average sale price is closer to $240,000. But still, that's a $100,000 price drop. And if you were to purchase this car and one day need to sell it, chances are you won't lose a dime. So not only are you getting a great car, you're making a sound financial decision. And I guarantee you, nearly everyone who purchases a new 0.2 GT3 will be losing money when it comes time to sell the car, just like the original owners of the 0.1 GT3 did. And I know there's some of you saying, well, I don't care if I lose $100,000 when I sell the car, but the majority of us would prefer not to lose $100,000 when selling a car. If you're new to my channel, I publish original automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else. So if you're not subscribed yet, click below to subscribe. And be sure to click the notifications bell so you can be notified about my latest videos. If you've watched any of the latest GT3 reviews on YouTube, which have all been sanctioned by Porsche, everyone makes the same excuses for Porsche not making any real improvements to this car. But they don't just make excuses for Porsche, they literally sing their praises for pulling off the amazing feat of giving the new GT3 the same amount of horsepower as its predecessor. But when Aston Martin debuted the 2025 Vantage, they didn't make excuses. They gave it 655 horsepower, 50 horsepower more than the 2024 model. And when Ferrari debuted the 2025 12 Cylindri, they didn't make excuses for it. They gave it 830 horsepower from a naturally aspirated engine. And this is not to say that Porsche is a bad company for their low-effort updates to the new GT3, but it sure provides a good rationale as to why you shouldn't spend an additional $100,000 to $150,000 for that car, especially when all of Porsche's competitors have recently come out with new cars that are significantly more powerful than their predecessors, be they turbocharged or naturally aspirated. And I'm not saying that the new GT3 is a bad car. It certainly is an incredible car, but it's certainly not $150,000 more incredible than its predecessor. It's pretty much as incredible as its predecessor, especially since it's pretty much the same car. Now, some of you are probably saying, but the new GT3 is a totally different car. It has folding seats that you can take the headrests out of, so there's more room for your helmet. But what you might not be aware of is that with basic tools, you can install those exact same seats in your 0.1 GT3 that you didn't pay $400,000 for. And yes, the gear ratios have been tweaked and the suspension and steering have also been tweaked, but these limited updates equate to more of a performance package add-on, not a new car. And there's probably a few of you saying, but the new GT3 doesn't cost between $350,000 and $400,000. It costs $222,500. And according to Google, you'd be right. But that price does not include the $30,000 to $60,000 in options that the average GT3 buyer selects. It doesn't include the dealership market adjustment fee that ranges from $50,000 to $100,000 depending on which dealership you're buying from. It also doesn't include administration fees, destination fees, and the 4 to 5 additional fees that the dealership is going to tack on. So out the door, you are going to be paying between $350,000 and $400,000, and that's before taxes. So earlier this week, Porsche finally made an announcement in reference to the Nürburgring and the new GT3. And in this announcement, Porsche said they are going to try to beat a very specific Nürburgring lap record with the new GT3. Are they aiming for a production record? No. Are they aiming for a national record? No. Are they aiming for a brand record? No. Porsche is attempting to beat the Nürburgring lap time of a very specific car, a 2017 Dodge Viper. The American car that Porsche people all over the world look down upon is what Porsche is trying to beat around the Nürburgring. More specifically, Porsche is attempting to take away the Dodge Viper ACR's manual transmission Nürburgring lap time record. This is Dodge Porsche is going after, not exactly a leader in track performance. And when you consider how much shit-talking Porsche people do about the Dodge Viper, this is a pretty embarrassing goal for the newest GT3, especially when you consider that the Viper Porsche is going after is now 8 years old. And again, this doesn't make the new GT3 a bad car, but should you really spend upwards of $400,000 on a car that's trying to take away a lap record from an 8-year-old Dodge? Now let's talk about another important reason that you should purchase the 0.1 GT3 over the 0.2 GT3, and that is appearance. From certain angles, the 0.2 GT3 is barely recognizable from the base model Carrera, whereas with the 0.1, Porsche put the effort into making it the most beautiful water-cooled 911 ever made, and certainly quite different looking from the 0.1 base model Carrera. So you'll never need to worry about anyone confusing your $400,000 GT3 Touring with the $120,000 base model Carrera. So at the end of the day, both the 0.1 and 0.2 GT3s are great cars, but the 0.2 car is unquestionably not $150,000 better than the 0.1 car. And here's the thing, if you do end up becoming the lucky owner of a 0.1 GT3, there's never going to be a time when you say to yourself, I really regret not spending the additional $150,000 to get basically the same car. Thanks for watching, and for more automotive content that you cannot find anywhere else, click here to subscribe.